that is mixed, and they don't even know what is inside it, but because it's bargain, and they were told that it's bargain, so they buy it. And they ask me questions like this. You know, some containers are seized for some reasons, so they sell it very cheap. And their brothers and they buy it and they don't know what is inside it. They will know that it's electronics, but they don't know which type, how many pieces, etc. This is jahala, it's gharar, ambiguity. Also, I mean, if you think that because you are ignorant, you will be excused, then you are misunderstanding the meaning of Islam. You know now, we know that we have two types of jahl, ignorance. One is purpose. When you have the means to learn and you don't learn, and you commit haram, you commit sins, then you are not excused. But when you can't, or you don't have means to follow or to understand the haram and halal, then you will be excused. And that's why Umar radiallahu anhu said, no one should enter our market, i.e. should start trading until he knows the halal and haram. Otherwise, he will be committing riba. Islam, Sharia itself, is based on three angles. One is aqidah, one is fiqh, and one is akhlaq. So aqidah, what is the belief in our hearts, the fiqh, the practice of the deen, and the akhlaq is the manners. These are the main angles or pillars of the Sharia. And the fiqh itself has two types. One is ibadat, worshipping, and the other type is mu'amalat, the dealing, either financial mu'amalat maliya, or even the other dealing, the social, the issues of marriage, talaq, etc. What is the difference? The difference is the ibadah is something that between you and Allah. You are commanded by Allah to worship Him in that specific time by doing that specific actions. And that's why if you look at the ibadat, actions of the ibadat, you will find many of them are not known, or the wisdom behind it is not known. Can you tell me why Maghrib is 3 and Isha is 4? Can you know why Fajr is 2? Why the fasting, the compulsory fasting is only 1 month? We don't know the wisdom behind it. Why? Because it's between you and Allah, and it's based on your iman, your faith, your believing in Allah. Allah is testing you. He's telling you to pray 4 rak'ah in dhuhr. So if you are a believer, you will believe in this, you will do it. But when it comes to mu'amalat, financial transaction and other issues, you will be dealing, because Islam is suitable for all the time until the day of judgment. So Allah knows that we will be dealing with non-Muslims. And Islam, when the Prophet ﷺ came to the Medina and started the Islamic the dawla there, he did not bring something new. He just amended and accepted and approved what was there. There are some new transactions brought in Medina, brought forward or invented, but most of the transactions were there. Why? Because he came just to tackle it. They, for example, used to deal with riba, clearly, and riba was one of the main transactions in those days. So the Prophet ﷺ moved them from riba to halal business. So because the business will be between you and every single human being in this world, it will not be based on based on your iman or in his iman, because he might not be mu'min. So that which it means that we have to give them the wisdom behind it, and that's why all the transactions are based on the wisdom, i.e. when it is haram, we will know why it is haram, otherwise we will not accept. Any new transactions come to the business, no one can claim it's haram until he proved that and give us the wisdom behind it. Okay, now there are rules that ruling the transactions in Islam. For example, as we mentioned now, al-asl fi al-mu'amalat al-ibaha. the main rules, the main rule for the financial transaction, that it is, they are halal, they are permissible. Which means that if you want to do ibadah, worship, you need a proof for that. Is this correct? Let's say someone said, because now the time is very short, or the day is very short, we will praying Dhuhr and Asr together. We keep combining until the summer. Does he need proof for this? Yes, he needs to give a proof for this, which is wrong. But I'm saying if he claims this, he needs a proof for this. But if you set up a new business, like for example Argos, do you think they were an Argos at the time of the Prophet ﷺ? I don't think so. Huh? They don't sell with catalogs in those days. So is it halal? You just say it is halal. Yes, of course it's halal. Unless someone brings proof that, to prove this is haram. So you can see how easy it is, Islamically, to involve in business. You can do whatever you want to do. You just need to avoid 1, 2, 3. But the main problem nowadays is that most of the transactions are based on haram. Why? Because the whole world is like one village. And it's connected like this. And the big sharks deal with riba, with ambiguity. Imagine that the main market, or the biggest market maybe, is the derivatives, which is forward contracts, options, futures. Those contracts, they are the biggest market, and most of them, if not all of them, are based on bay' ma la yamlik. They sell something they don't own. Actually, there is no commodity involved. Yesterday, 2 days ago, someone was asking me, he was showing me, he's buying some cryptocurrencies, and he's showing me that when he buys in that website, he will, when he makes some cryptocurrencies, he can buy some product. For example, they will show him a laptop or anything. And that time he was telling me this laptop is, for example, 1,000 blah blah. He can buy it and he will sell it. I said, can you have it? He said, I can't. So you're just playing game, man. There is no product. There is no laptop. They're telling you there is a product, laptop, but you cannot have it. What is the ownership? What is the position? لا تبع ما لا تملك. You're not allowed to sell what you cannot possess. That's why these type of transactions will lead the market to bankruptcy. And also the mu'amalat, the dealing, especially financial transaction, is based on urf, on custom. What does it mean? Let's say, for example, here we're in Leicester, where when we buy a car, when you pay the money, you go and get the car. They say people do this, and I think this is what they do. You go to the garage or wherever you bought it from, and you get the car. So when you pay the money, he will tell you no. You tell him no, you have to bring it to me. And you have dispute about this issue. He said, no, I'm not bringing it to you. You come or you leave it. In this case, there is no condition in the contract. So what will we do? What will we do? We will check the urf, the custom, what people do, what the traders in this field do in this area, and we will approve it like this. We go to more specific issue, which I think most of you have come across something like this. If, la qaddar Allah, divorce involved, husband and wife get divorced, separated, what will you do with the furniture, with the clothes, with the gold, with the kitchen's things and appliances, etc.? Who will take this? If there is no, actually, usually there is no, when you get married, I don't think you get a letter from your wife or certificate, sign it. This is mine and this is yours. It doesn't work like this. At the beginning, very sweet life, honey. Then the war starts later on. When the war starts, there is no proof for both sides. So what will we do? We look at the urf, at the custom. Who usually buy this in this area? Because now it varies from city to city and from country to country. In some countries, for example, in some North Africans, the husband should buy the whole kitchen blinds and I think something for some type of furniture, and the rest should be brought from the wife. Another place, vice versa. So the urf, the custom will control this. Now, what is bay'a, brothers? What is bay'a? What do you understand from bay'a? Selling, what does it mean? Can someone give me an idea what is bay'a? I don't need definition. I just need to know when we say bay'a, what does it mean to you when you say someone sells something? Say again? You lose possession of something and someone, okay, you can say you get something and you give something. It's like this. Yeah, I will go in details, but this is the initial meaning of bay'a. So he said, you give the possession of something to someone else for a price. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran clearly, وَأَحَلَّ اللَّهُ الْبَيْعِ وَحَرَّمَ الرِّبَى. Allah had made bay' halal and forbid the riba. And the Prophet ﷺ encouraged us to do bay' and approve that the bay' is halal. And it's agreed upon. You know why it's agreed upon? Because if there is no bay' and buying and selling, then what will happen? If you have something and I want this, I can only take it if I steal it. Otherwise, there is no other way to take it. Or you give it to me as a gift or a sadaqah, which is difficult. So Allah made it easy for the human being and allowed them to do bay', and I pay you something and you give me that thing. So three type of prices. We will come to it inshallah later on. So now the bay', when we say bay', we have bay' mutlaq. What's bay' mutlaq? I give you this laptop and you pay money. You pay currency. You know, when we say mal, people think it's only currency. No, mal could be currency, could be commodity, it's mal as well, could be service. The service is mal as well. Anyone knows something in the Quran about this? About the service can be a price for something? أحسنت, yeah, أحسنت. على أن تأجرني 8 حجج. When Musa ﷺ wanted to get married, what was the mahar? What was the dowry? To serve Yaqub for 8 years or 10 years. So the serving is money as well. It's a price. And this is what you have nowadays. You get services towards money and vice versa. So al-bay' al-mutlaq, it is when you buy a commodity and you pay for it. We have bay' al-sarf, currency exchange. So when you have currency against currency. So currency against commodity is bay' al-mutlaq. Currency against currency is sarf. And the conditions in this one are more than the normal bay' because it has to be on spot and there are many conditions. We will inshallah talk about it. Bay'u salam, that means when you pay the money in advance and you get the commodity later on. Do you do this? Do you pay for something and you get the commodity later on? It happens, yeah. It happens in many type of buying and selling. Bay'u al-muqayada, when the commodity against commodity. This was the beginning of bay'. Long time ago. So when I give you tomato, you give me a sword, for example. Is this existing now? Commodity against commodity? Is it existing now? Huh? Like? For example, exchanging car is commodity against commodity. What else? Yeah, but I'm talking about practically. Do we have this? It happens, house against house, but there is something more practicing than this. Oil. The countries give oil towards other things, not necessarily currency. They get food or get whatever. So this is bay' as well. Yeah, livestock. So these type of bay', the conditions should apply for bay'. Otherwise, it will not be accepted. It will not be accepted. This is the 4 types of bay'. We have another definitions of bay' or another type of bay'. We have bay' al-musawama. You know what's bay' al-musawama? When you go and you say, how much is this? He will tell you, this is 1,000 pounds. This laptop for 1,000 pounds. You don't know about the original price. You don't know about how much I'm making profit. You know nothing. I just gave you the price. You like it, you leave it. Maybe you ask me for discount. It doesn't matter. So this is bay'ul musawama, when you do not have any idea about the price. And you just, the price is there and you take it or leave it. Bay'ul muzayada, auction. How much you pay Anas for this? You will tell me 1,000. The brother will say 1,100. Like this, it's auction. They call bay'ul muzayada. Bay'ul amana, and this is bay'ul amana, bay' transaction based on trust. These are we give 3 talks about them, but I'll just summarize them because they're used in Islamic banks. We have al-murabaha, we have al-tawliya, we have al-hatita. So, al-murabaha, what is murabaha? This brother said to me, I want to buy this laptop. I say, listen, I paid 1,000 pounds for this, I need 1,100. So he paid 1,100. Why? His offer is based on the trust that he has in me. I give him the original price and he give me 10% extra and he bought it. So this this type of transaction is based on trust, which means that if I am not telling the truth, he's got the right to cancel the transaction because it's based on trust. Biyu' al-amana. And this is when there is a profit, we call it murabaha. When it is the same price, we call it tawliya, bay'u tawliya. And in the seerah, the Prophet ﷺ, when he wanted to start his migration to Medina, Abu Bakr had 2 camels ready for that trip. So they said the Prophet ﷺ, he wanted to take one, so he wanted to give it as a gift to the Prophet ﷺ. Prophet ﷺ said, no, I will pay you its price. So we'll give him just what he paid, which is tawliya. Hatita or wadi'a, if you are a friend of mine and I want to give you help, this is for 1,000, I'll give you just for 900 for you because I just wanted to help you. Then we have different type of bay' as well. You know when you buy and sell, what do you do with the money? Sometimes you give it in advance. They call it bay' al-mu'ajjal. And did you call this? When we pay the money in advance and we get the commodity later on, what do we call this? Salam. Do you understand salam? Salam, you pay now and you get the commodity later on. This is halal. This is permissible as long as no riba, no types of the commodities of riba are involved there, like buying, selling currencies. You can't do this. Mu'ajjal al-thaman, installments, like you take a car and you will pay later on. This is taqseed, bay'ut taqseed, which is halal as well. But if both is delayed, we are online buying and selling, and it happens a lot. The commodity is there, the money is there, but no exchange now. The money is still in my account, and the commodity is still with the seller, and we sign the contract, we do everything, nothing takes place. This is haram. This is haram, and it happens especially online. Many people do this. Many people do this. They finish the contract, but nothing, no payment, no commodity, and this is bay'ul kali bil kali. Okay, now the aqd, the contract, has pillars. Okay, contract has pillars. Has buyer and seller, al-aqidan. Al-aqidan. So someone will buy and someone will sell. Buyer and seller. And we have ma'qud alayh, which means that the price and the commodity. So now how many you have? 4 now. Buyer and seller and price and commodity. 4. Then we have as-sigha. what to say to buy. You have to say something to buy. And when you have to say something, this is by looking at the beginning of the bay' and shira. However, and especially in the contracts, but when you go to Sainsbury or Tesco, wherever, you go in any corner shop, you pick up something, don't come to the cashier and say, I'm willing to buy this. You say, accept. No, it doesn't matter this. You give money and salam alaikum, you go. So this is bay'ul mu'ata. According to the custom and urf, this is completely acceptable. Although in the big contracts, you see, agree on the terms and conditions, then you see accept. You click the bottom of accept before they can finish the contract with you. And this is what happened in the contracts. But in daily life, they use mu'ata. So for example, we say we have ijab. Ijab, it means that when you ask for selling or buying. Qabul is when you accept. Now in the internet, how does it work? You go, you see something nice, it's for sale. So what will happen? What do you do? If you want to buy something from Amazon, for example, you see something nice, you like it. What do you do usually? You don't buy from Amazon? You click on what? Huh? Okay, good. You check out. When you check out, what do you do? Huh? Yeah, I mean, he finished this already. You pay. Yeah, but before paying, what do you do? Yeah, exactly. So you see all these procedures is ijab. That means you want to buy this. It's changed, not like before, I want and accept. Now it's changed. But when you click the bottom and you say finish, confirm, this is ijab. You are waiting for him to accept. That's why until this moment, he can decline this. And the bay' is not completed. The contract is not completed. But before that, now, when you are doing this, you are making ijab. And when they accept, finish, they are making qabul. And these are conditions of bay'. Why there are conditions? Because you can't, for example, sell this on my behalf. Why? Because the qabul then is not done from the right person, from someone else. So these are conditions. And you know, if you look at the problems, the issues with the contracts nowadays, many of them have nothing to do with this. Because it's legally required, these things. And I'm just telling you to show you that it is Islamically approved and legally approved as well. So and now we will move to the important part of this lecture. I'm trying to summarize it as short as possible because I know it's very complicated. So I'll just try to give you an idea about it. So when you understand it, then if you like this field, you go in details. If you don't like it, at least you know when to ask. Because the problem now we have, people do not even know it is wrong or there is issue behind it. They think it's easy. No, there's no problem with it. So we have conditions fil bay' in bay'. And we have conditions of bay'. Shurutul bay' wa shurutu fil bay'. Listen to this carefully, okay? You have conditions of bay'. Conditions of bay', shurutul bay', it is specified and put as a condition by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the shara'. And ash-shurutu fil bay', conditions in the bay' and buying and selling, this is something you as a contractors, you put it. For example, in some contracts, you have 10, 20 conditions. These conditions are written by the buyer or the seller. It depends on who put the contract. But the conditions of the shurut al-bay' that done by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like for example, at-taradi. You can't force someone to sell his property. If you do so, it will not be accepted. Is this correct? Can I force you, Anas, to sell your iPhone, for example? And if I do that, I just grab you and take the iPhone and sell it for 500 and get the money. Is this contract acceptable? It's not acceptable, huh? Okay. Except in some cases, like for example,
Let's say the person has a debt.
has a debt, bankrupt, for example, person is bankrupt, and the government or the court force him to sell his house to pay the people. This is another case. But generally speaking, you cannot force people to pay, to buy, to sell their properties. Also, if you, do you have children, Brother Eid? Yeah, you have children. How old are they? 14. And the youngest? 1 year. And in between, you have 7, 8? Okay, that's right. So the 7 years old, one day, you came to your house, you found them that sold your car. Your son, 7 years old, you came, the car is sold. Who sold it? 7 years old. His son sold this. Is this acceptable? Why? First of all, he's not adult. He's young. Secondly, he's doing it without your permission. But if you give him permission to do this, is it allowed? It is allowed. Because he's mumayyaz. He can differentiate. 7 years old, 8, he can differentiate between wrong and correct. So he's mumayyaz, he can do this. But 2, 3 years old, even if you give him permission and he signs, it won't be acceptable. What about safih, someone who does not know how to spend his money? Like for example, very old person or people that he has problem. He's not insane, but he's not clever enough to deal with his wealth. They call him safih. So this type of people cannot buy and sell. Some people will be in charge of them to do this in their behalf. Okay. And the possession, the ownership, you have to possess the commodity to sell it. Otherwise, you cannot sell it. Is that okay? Okay. Now, for example, what is the difference between those two scenarios? Okay. Now, Sheikh Eid is talking to Dr. Osama. He's telling Dr. Osama, and I'm listening. He said, I will sell this laptop to you, Dr. Osama, for 700 pounds. I'm giving you a discount. And I'm listening, okay? It's mine. And he's selling it, okay? I'm not happy. I didn't give him any permission. Is this correct? It's wrong. Why? Why? لا يملكه. He does not possess this. Okay. But if he tells Dr. Osama, I will sell you a laptop just similar to this one, or he will give him description of a laptop exactly similar to this one, and he will tell him the price and everything. Is this permissible? It is permissible because they call it موصوف في الذمة. You are selling a described item. I'm not talking about this item. So there's a big difference between described item and selling the same item. And that's why many people commit mistake by contracting on a specific item while they do not own it, and they have very easy way to do it. Just describe it. And you know what's the difference between the both scenarios? Now let's for example, I have a mobile shop, okay? What's your name, akhi? Huh? Liban came to my shop and wanted to buy iPhone 11. Okay? And someone else came to buy as well. Liban chose one of the mobiles were there. So he said to me, I want to buy this one. Okay? And he paid the money and he said he will collect it tomorrow. The other guy came, did not specify anything. He said, this is the money. I want you to give me iPhone 13, blah, 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 description. Give all the descriptions that he wanted. And both of them went. Then the shop is stolen. Okay? I lost everything. Second day, both of them came. Liban and the other brother. What will happen? What is the scenario now? What should I do with this? Two customers. They bought the same phone, 1111, but he specified it. He's buying something muayyan, and he did not specify it. Describe it, yeah. And they both paid me the money, and both came to pick up their commodities or their iPhones. What should I do Islamically? Run away. Just say something.
No, one of the phones is actually in the shop.
Okay. The shop is stolen.
No, when I
Yeah, when you did the contract, it was there.
it was the one that was in the shop.
Yeah, you actually, I showed you, I gave it to you, check it, everything's fine. You paid the money and you left it with me. And the other one did not pick up anything. He just had a description. He wanted this specific phone with that description, that color, blah, 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 blah. And you both paid the money. Huh? So, for this brother, I have to get him a phone. Because he didn't buy a specific phone. He described his item, and it's in my dhimma, which means that I have to give him. But you cannot get anything. Why? Because the shop is stolen. There was no mistake from my side. It's stolen. I didn't do anything wrong. And you lost this. Which means that he has the right to ask me to give him a phone. Why? Because I can't claim your phone was here lost. It is not his problem. But you left your phone here. I told you to take it. You left it here. It's not my responsibility now if I don't do anything wrong. I gave you the chance to take the qabd, the position. So you see the difference now? Which one? This one for Liban, it became like amana. Because he paid the money and everything, and he gave it, told him take it, he left it. But the other brother, we haven't given him his item. So you see how in contracts you can choose which one is easier for, which one is better for you. This one or this one, this contract will be more practical for you, this one. Sometimes, for example, like this, you see something nice in the internet, and you think that you will make money here to sell it. It's in China, and you have the product, everything, the description, but you don't own the product, you don't have the money. Do not sell it. Do not sell that specific item. Sell the description. Say, I can get you iPhone or laptop or car, red color, this and that. You give description, but you do not specify it. You can sell it then with the description, even if you don't own it at this moment. Because you are not selling specific item, you are selling a described item. Which means that, let's say you go to China tomorrow, that shop does not have that item. It's your problem. You have to buy it from another shop and give him the description that he wanted. So there will no be dispute. You will lose, but this is the business. You might make money, you might lose. But we will not involving in any dispute, in any khilaf. Yeah.
Can you use pictures in that scenario when you describe it?
Yeah. Pictures as a description, not as the specific item you're talking about. Yeah, I give you will have a laptop similar to this. This is the color, this is the specification, etc. This will make it easy for you and for the buyer as well. Also, when you buy something, you have to make sure this thing is halal. It's halal itself. And because we will come to the haram, how we have haram itself, it is haram, and the other type it's halal, but the way we get it is haram. Both are haram. Muharram li dhati, muharram li kasbih. So for example, you can't sell khamr, alcohol, or buy it. You can't sell mayta, dead animals, or buy it. You can't sell khinzir. These are haram. So even if you sign a contract on this, it will not be valid. It will be haram. And you can't sell a stolen car. You can't buy a stolen car. You know it's stolen. You cannot buy it. It's haram. Also, is it permissible to buy something that I cannot provide? Now you come close to very important point. Now, بيع ما لا يقدر على تسليمه. We are in the sea and we saw a big shark. I say, I will sell you this for 1,000 pounds. Is this okay? Is this type of contract okay? No. It's not permissible. Why? Because it could lead to dispute. I might not be able to fish it. I mean, it's in the sea. No. Okay? It's different from the mawsuf al-dhimma we were talking about. The one, now instead of pointing to that shark, I can sell you a shark with that weight, with that color, or that type of shark, and I'll bring it tomorrow. Not that specific shark. No, I'm describing the item now. Do you understand the difference? It's important. It'll make the life easy for you. So you are not specifying it. You are saying it, the description of the item. Do you understand the difference?
Sure. What if you catch the shark and then say, I sell it?
Then it's fine. This is halal. Why at the first time we said you cannot sell it? First of all, you don't own it. It's not in your position. And also, you might not be able to catch it. And this will lead to dispute. You will have a problem with me then. I paid you money for that specific shark. And you don't do it. And you don't get it for me. So we will have dispute. I made loss because of you. And this, I told you, the contracts of futures and options and these contracts are based on this. Just buying and selling with there is no commodity involved. Yes, تفضل.
Can we sell, can we sell, or the bank can sell a house through description without you paying?
Yeah, you can sell anything through description. For example, you come to me, you said, I want to buy a flat. Okay, I say, that's fine. You can have a flat in St. Matthews, 4 bedrooms, blah, blah, first floor, this and that. Give a description for 100,000. And maybe it's not even built yet. That's fine. I'm selling you description now. You understand me? So it's permissible and it's easy, a type of business to do, and it's flexible. Also, you have to know the price. You have to know the price of the commodity before you involve. So if I say to you, this microphone, if you want to buy it now, it's £100. If you want to buy it, if you want to pay after 1 month, it will be 120. You say yes, but you don't decide which price you've chosen. This is haram. Why it's haram? Because bay'atayn fi bay'ah. Now you're making 2 prices in 1 item, and you haven't decided which one. But if you decide, you say, okay, I will go for this cash, or I will go for installment, then it's fine. But to leave the contract like this with 2 prices, this is haram. This is bay'atayn fi bay'ah. So you have to specify which price you wanted. These are shurutul bay'. These conditions from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All these are proved in the Quran and Sunnah. And if the conditions are not there, then the contracts will not be accepted. So what about الشروط في البيع? They call it شروط جعلية. What's جعلية? We as a contractors, we chose to put it in the contract. Now when you involve in buying a house or buying a car or making insurance or whatever, you have 10 or 15 conditions. These conditions has nothing to do with the Quran and Sunnah. Generally speaking, it's put by you or by me or by a lawyer or someone else. But they are conditions in the bay'ah. So what's the difference between the conditions that specified by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or put by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the conditions by the human being, the ja'liyah? The first one, if they are not in the contract, if we miss some of them, the contract will be nullified. It's not accepted. Batil. But the conditions that we put for each other as a contractors, as buyer and seller, if you do not fulfill this condition, then I have the right to cancel or leave the contract. Khayar, I will have the option to go for it or leave it. If I buy a car from you, brother, and I tell you, listen, the car should be red, the color should be red. You say, yes. Tomorrow you bring a black car. I said, you don't see? I told you red. In this situation, I paid you the money. So what is the scenario now? I take it or I cancel it. I cancel it. But if I sign contract with you to buy that Mercedes parking there, then we find out it's not yours, the contract is invalid because you do not own it. You miss a shart في البيع, a shart البيع position is not there, so the contract is invalid. So the conditions you heard just right now, all these conditions are must. There are conditions in the bay'ah. If you miss them, the contract is nullified. But the conditions are coming now. These are optional. You choose, you opt for them, and if you have them in the contract, then if you do not fulfill them, the other part, the other part of the contract can reject the contract or can accept it. First of all, any conditions you put in the aqd, in the contract, is halal, except if it's against the projective, against the wisdom of the contract. Now, for example, leasing. We have leasing here. We call it in Arabic الإجارة التمويلية. What they do with leasing? There are different types of leasing, especially cars. They are one of these leasing contracts. When they sign the contract with you, what they do? They will lease the car to you, okay? And at the same time, they still own the car, and they will consider the payment as installments, and what you call the initial maintenance of the car is on you as a tenant, or as a tenant, and they will take the money, will guarantee the installments, and will not take any risk, as you will be responsible on the insurance, on the repairing the car, everything. So they are mixing the buying contract, bay', with leasing, with ijara. Why? Because if it is a buying and selling contract, you should have the ownership, you should possess the car, and it will be your car, and the payment you give, it will be just a debt on you towards them. You have to pay them. But if they are leasing the car to you, it's not your car, it's their car, and you're just paying rent. The situation is different. When you are paying rent, now for example, if the car is burned or stolen, who's responsible on this? No, forget about me and you. Is it the buyer, the owner, or the tenant? The renter, huh? In the lease case, yeah. Islamically, who's responsible on the commodity is the owner. So if I own the car, whether I drive it or you drive it, I give it to you for free, or you drive it you pay rent, I am still responsible, unless if you do something wrong. This is another issue. We're talking about, you didn't do anything wrong. It's stolen. You parked it, you made the alarm, everything is fine, but it's stolen. If it is a real sale, you bought it, you will be responsible. Nothing to do with me. If it's a lease, I am responsible. Nothing to do with you. But in their contracts, what they do, they will make you the owner when there is a problem, and they are the owner when there is a money. It's like this. And this is the dhulm. That's why it's haram. Lease, different type of lease. Some of them are halal. When it's a pure lease, you are renting a car and you're paying a rent, and you are just responsible in your problem, your issues, your insurance, and they're responsible for the car. That's fine. This is just normal lease contract.
What if you lease a car from someone and they say عنده insurance or road tax وأشياء كذا, and he lies when you check the thing, is the contract void?
Again, say again.
If you're leasing a car from someone and they say it has insurance and road tax and all that,
Okay.
and then you go and check the thing and it is wrong,
Yeah.
is the contract void? Like the contract is not allowed.
No. SubhanAllah, if you understood what I was telling you, you should be able to answer him. Did you understand his question? Huh?
They cheated him.
Yeah, they cheated him. But what they do? What did they exactly do? What they missed in the contract? Huh?
They made him responsible of paying the things.
Now,
They made him
he said they told him that the car is covered, for example, is insured. Okay? So it says a condition in the contract that the car is insured. So what happened now? They do not fulfill their the conditions. They put a condition, or he put a condition, and they do not fulfill this. In this situation, what will happen? He has the right to carry on or to cancel the contract. This is الشروط في البيع. So they're missing part of the contract and they were wrong of doing this. So he has the right to cancel. He has the right to cancel and take his money back. Anyway, الشروط في البيع, or in the contract, when we put conditions in the contract, they will be different. Most of the conditions are okay, but some of them are the scholars differ about them. Now, for example, الشروط التقييدية. You rent my house, Brother Bashir, okay? You rent my house. And I'll tell you, you can stay in my house, but don't have visitors. Don't have visitors. Your visitors will ruin the house. I don't accept. Or they only have one wife, don't have two wives. Or let's say, for example, I have a land next to me, next to my house. It's mine. I will sell it to you. You can build a house. You can stay there. You do whatever you want to do. But do not sell it to someone else. If you want to sell it, you sell it back to me. Is this permissible?
Yes.
Why is yes? Huh? No, but don't forget that what is the main thing of bay' and shira? You transfer the ownership. So I bought the land. You can't give conditions and you limit my limit my ownership in that specific commodity. You can't do this. They call it shurut taqidiyya. Majority of the scholars say no. This condition is invalid. But Shaykh al-Islam in Taymiyyah and his narration Hanabila, they say it's fine. As you said, if it's a mutual agreement, both are okay, and there is no harm in both of you, you can do that. Why not? Why not? Because it's a beneficial for both. Now I have land next to me, next to my house. I sell it to you, or let's say I rent you my shop, and I tell you, listen, don't open a takeaway here. You can have it. You can have any type of business, not takeaway. Why? Because next to it is my takeaway. If you make a takeaway here, you will just finish my business. In this situation, it looks okay. It does make sense here now. So that's why they say shurut taqidiyya is fine. The rest of the shurut is fine. Like for example, shurut tawthiqiyya, to guarantee the business. How do we guarantee the business in Islam? If I sell my car to you, Liban, for £10,000 in installment, what do you expect me to do to guarantee that you don't let me down? You have to pay on time. Islamically, banks will just make interest and increase interest. But Islamically, what shall I do? Do you have any suggestions? Huh? If he has deposit, there's no point for the contract for installment then. Guarantor. Someone will guarantee him, for example, or maybe we get his house as under the guarantee as well, or get different type of damanat or things that can guarantee the contract. What about penalty charge? You know penalty charge? We have two types of penalty charge. One is haram, is riba. And we'll talk about riba tomorrow, inshallah, in details. But the other one is halal. When the penalty charge is involved in financial agreement, then it's not permissible. Now, you, as I said, you bought my car for 10,000 and you have to pay 1,000 every month. For the third month, you had a problem, you couldn't pay. I cannot increase the 1,000 to 1,100 as a penalty. This is riba. Why? Because the money I owe you is debt, and debt cannot be increased. Okay? But if you are a builder and I have agreement with you, you are giving me, you are building a house for me, okay? And I put it as a condition, I will pay you £20,000 for the whole project. However, you have to finish it by April. If you don't finish by April, every 1 month late, I will deduct 1,000 pounds. So you finish it in June. I give you only 18,000. Is this permissible? It's permissible. Why? Because there is no money for money. It's money for service. And I'm charging you for a penalty charge for your service, not for the debt you have to pay me. So when the penalty charge for the service is permissible, for money is not permissible. In banks, credit card, penalty charge for what? For services or for money? For payment, which is for money. So when you have, let's say, 1,000 pounds from your credit card, they'll give you 55 days, for example, to pay back. If you can't pay, after that, what will happen? They will put some interest. And this is riba.
How about the other thing, Sheikh? Sometimes the people, they get stuff from the shops.
Sorry?
It's a contract called pay now and pay later.
Okay.
For example, you buy a phone.
Okay.
Then they will say to you, the first 6 months is interest free.
Yeah.
But if you do not complete the money in that period, after that, you will be charged for interest.
We're supposed to talk about it in a riba tomorrow, but I will answer you now. I think this condition is rarely where you can miss it. Most of the contracts in UK, you have this condition. Even in the mobile phones contracts, in the houses, they put a penalty charge. This is, they call it penalty charge. So you have to pay, some of them from the beginning, they will tell you. Some of them, they say, give you 6 months free, as you said. After 6 months, if you don't finish, then you have to pay installment. You have to pay penalty charge, which is interest. This is haram. This is riba. It's clear riba. Barakallahu feek. It's a clear riba. And it's the main type of riba. Riba al-nasi'a. Riba diyun.
But some people, the Sheikh, they give a fatwa that type of contract is illegal. I don't know where they came from.
What do you mean? Legal? No one say legal. Even shaitan knows it's haram. Not shuyukh. But some scholars said that this type of contract is necessity. So if you are 100% sure you will not exceed 6 months and you need that contract, then you are allowed to involve in such a contract. Did you understand it? So I'm coming to you. So they didn't say it's halal, it's haram. The condition is haram, definitely it's a haram condition. And you shouldn't sign a contract with the condition like this. And I've seen this with some Muslim brothers. They rent the shop to you, and they put this as a condition. If you are late, you have to pay, and between two brackets, they put the figure. I told the brothers, put zero. You can't put this as a condition. It's haram to sign. He said, no, we'll not charge you. I said, even you don't charge me, it is still haram to have this condition. It's riba. You cannot have it. It's a contract. وَأَوْفُوا بِالْعُقُودِ Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to fulfill the contracts. So you can't have this as a condition. But if it's already there and you don't have other option and you are 100% sure you will not exceed that period, then if you do it, many scholars say it's permissible as necessity, not because it's halal. No, it's not halal. Yes, akhi. Alaykum salam. Say again, I didn't pick it up.
So, in the example of the takeaway shop that you gave as an example,
yeah.
What if you agree with the brother who's renting from you to say,
okay,
if your business becomes good and
yeah.
you have money, increase your rent?
Yeah, well, you don't need even to do this. You can make the rent every 6 months. You can review your rent and change it. That's fine. It's up to you. You can put the period. Choose the period where you can increase or decrease the contract. As long as you put this as a clause in the contract, that's fine. Don't give him a contract for 10 years, then you come to change your mind. No, this is haram. But if you put in the contract that every year you review the rent or every 6 months, it's up to you then. That's fine. There's no problem with this. There are many... Yes, Fadl.
You know the question that asked, does it also apply to when you're paying in installments? For example, there's certain companies like Klarna, I don't know if you've heard of them.
Corona.
You pay in installments. For example, if I want to buy some clothes, you have the option of, say it's £100, I can pay £33, say 3 pence for 3 months
Okay?
without interest. But so you pay the exact same amount. However, if you are late, there's always those penalty charges. So does that rule also apply to?
As I said to you, inshallah, tomorrow we will come to all the issues of riba, but the same. You are just signing a contract with a ribawi condition. This condition is riba condition, and you cannot accept it as a contract. But if you need to do it and you have no options, and we say you have no options, that you try to find another option and you couldn't find it, in this situation, you can do that and you make istighfar and you do your best to avoid involving in riba. Because the riba, riba is riba. Riba is one of the worst sin you can commit in your life. Yeah, and it is one of the most popular sin that people commit everywhere, especially well-advanced countries, because the banks are involved in everything, and the banks, they like riba. They don't live without riba. So that's why we always encourage brothers to understand. At least you understand you are doing something haram, so you make istighfar, at least. But the problem, people do not even understand that it is haram. They just do it. You have a new baby, you open up an account for him, bank account for him, for little ones. Why you do this? If there is no need, why you do this? And so when you understand what's riba and why riba is haram, then you will be patient and you're trying your best to avoid it. Okay.
Sorry, last question.
Just anyone wants to ask, inshallah, you can ask, no problem. Yeah.
Those contracts that I just mentioned.
Yeah.
If someone signs that contract without knowing there was a conditional riba, or it's conditioned to
Yeah.
the riba thing,
Yeah.
that interest. When he finds out, then he speaks to the company. The minute that he signs, they won't allow him to cancel the contract. So in that case, are you forced to pay that, to go ahead and pay that money?
Yeah, if you can't stop it, you said.
You can't stop, yeah.
So what can you do? You have to finish it. But if you can, and you even by paying something and get rid of it, yes, of course, you avoid it. Yeah, Abdul Hakim, yes.
So how about the issue of pension?
It depends on the contract as well. There are some pensions are halal, some pensions are not halal. So we need to see the contract. It depends. And not even the issue of riba, even issue of zakah. Do you need to pay zakah for the pension or not? Some pensions is like, they call it da'in madin mu'sir. What's madin mu'sir? You give someone a loan and he cannot pay it back to you. It takes the same ruling. Why? Because some pensions, because when you give the money, they will take it, but you cannot touch it until that specific day, and it's your money, but you cannot have it, which means that it's permissible. It's your money, and you'll take it back. You can take it back, and you don't need to pay zakah because it's not in your hand at the moment. The company could go bankrupt anytime, and you lose the money, so you will pay zakah when you get it back. Anyway, pension it depends on the contract. Some of pensions are okay. Let me finish the last part of this talk, and tomorrow I'll finish the rest. It's about qabd, position. What does it, now, what's your name, akhi? You. Abdul Hakim. Abdul Hakim, now, I sold this water to you, this bottle of water to you, okay? For £1. It's a bit expensive, but you take it, okay? So it's £1. You give the money, and it's still with me. Okay? I didn't give it to you. Do you own this now?
Yes.
Yes or no?
No.
Different opinions. Forget about the water. Let's talk about car. You want to buy my car, Abdul Hakim. Okay? So my car is outside. We signed the contract. We agreed about everything. We signed the contract. You give me the £10,000. Okay? And you've taken a copy of the contract, and I've taken a copy of the contract. And the car it's in my garage, just opposite the masjid, okay? It's in my garage. Do you own the car?
Yes.
Anyone says yes, it's understandable. But the one who says no, why is no? Huh? But is it a condition that to own the car?
He owns it. If something happens, you're still alive.
Okay, so now He owns it. It's his car now. Okay, it's his car. But he didn't have it. He didn't make qabd. It doesn't come in his possession yet. You see this gap? This gap is important in bay'ah. Because at the moment, who's the owner of the car? It's Abdul Hakim. Who's responsible in the car? It's Abu Yahya. You understand this? Okay, what does it make any? Because the Prophet ﷺ said, "Naha al-ribh ma lam yadman." You cannot make a profit out of something that you don't guarantee.
So that means he can't set that up.
Exactly. Number one, Abdul Hakim at the moment until the time he get the car, he cannot sell it. It's his car, but he cannot sell it. Why? Because he's lam yaqbadha. He doesn't go in his position yet. Okay? And also he's not responsible on it. If somebody stole this car, what will happen? I give him back his money or I get him another car. I am responsible, not him. You remember I told you about the mobile phone? When you came and paid the money? Why I said I am not responsible? Because I've given you the mobile, you didn't take it. So if I tell Abdul Hakim the car is there, just go and take it, and he doesn't take it, it's not my problem. But we have ownership and we have possession. Ownership, milkiyya, can be transferred by paper. Taking the money, even without money, by paper you can take it. But possession depends. Some items possessed by hand, like for example, iPhone, mobile, I give it to you, you take it. But how you do possess a building? You take it in your hand? If I sell you this place, how do you possess it? I give you the key, exactly. I give you the key and I leave. So you own this. If I don't give you the key and earthquake and the building collapse, I am responsible. If I give you the key, you do not use it, something happen, it's not my problem. You have the position there, you made the qabd. What about money? Currency, how do you make position of currency? Shares, cryptocurrencies. How do you possess this?
You have an account and it moves to that account.
Either by hand, like for example the currencies, pounds, but cryptocurrencies and shares, you cannot have them by hand, isn't it? So what do you do? Having them in your wallet or your account. This is qabd hukmi. It's position. So for example now, let's say we have the card machine, the card payment machine, okay? And you are buying something from the masjid. When you put your contactless Visa card, you pay £50 for any item, and the money, it shows that it came out from your account to my account. In reality, do you think now somebody is awake in Barclays and they take the money and put it in my account? It's not like this, isn't it? Just digits. Digits move from your account to my account. In reality, the money is still there in the safe box or whatever. So what moves? Just digits, numbers, that's it. And this is qabd hukmi. It will give you the right to own that thing and you can sell it. That's why the banks now, it's a major issue for qabd hukmi. And if you don't consider this, you cannot sell or buy in this life, maybe for most of the business, you cannot do it then. And as I said, cryptocurrencies, when you buy, I'm not saying it's halal, okay? I'm just to give you an example. Bitcoins or Ethereum or something like this. How do you buy it? You pay money sometimes, you pay money. You transfer money from your account to his account. And what he will do, he will put the cryptocurrency in your wallet, in that specific website. Is this qabd hukmi? Is this possession? Is it possession? Have you taken it in your hand? No. Do you have it in your pocket? No. Can you touch it? No. It's in your account, whether bank account, wallet account, that specific website. So this is qabd. What does it mean? That means you have the ability to take it and use it and take advantage of it. This is the qabd. And it depends on the item. Food can be taken by hand. Money can be taken by hand. Car can be, keys can be taken. Building can be give you the keys. It depends. Currencies, bank details, or wallet, as you said. All these are qabd. And the main point in the qabd is you will not be able to sell, and you are not responsible for the commodity until you make full possession. So if you sell now, and that's why you see some contracts has 100 conditions. Big companies, when they do big, long-aged contract, 20, 30 years old, 30 years, some contracts 100 years. It's more than a human being age. And they're expecting many things to happen. If the building collapses, what will happen if this happens? So they put a lot of conditions. A lot of conditions. Even if you sign this contract, nothing. It's your building, but you are not responsible until you get the keys. Before that, you cannot sell it. You are not responsible for it. Okay. You have a factory. In China, they made up a factory for you, okay? You want to, let's say, you want to produce bottles. So they made a factory for you, and they sold it for you for £1 million, okay? And they send it. They ship it to you from there. And I give you the bill of lading in your name. And you took the bill of lading in your name. Is this position?
What was the last question, sir?
Oh, it's bad news, man. That man is sleeping, man. Everybody's sleeping. Yes. ما فهمت. You are a rich man, okay? You want to buy a factory from China for £1 million. So they prepared everything for you and they ship it to you. So it's in the sea now. And you paid the £1 million. And they send you the bill of lading. It's in your name. So when it comes here, you will receive. Because you know, if you know the shipping system, the bill of lading is the name of the bill of lading is the guy who will be taking the goods when it's arrives. It's in the sea. You haven't received it. But it's already left the manufacturer warehouses or whatever. In this situation, you are the owner and you have full possession in it. Why? Because this paper made you, give you the full responsibility for that goods. And you can sell it, even if it's in the sea, you can sell it according to the description. So what I want you to understand, al-qabd, the position can vary from time to time, from item to another, from situation to another, and this is very important. You have to understand it before you involve in any contract. Otherwise, you might sell something that you don't own. We told you before, if I sell you this water, I can't sell it to you unless if I own it. But if I sell you a bottle of water with that specific description, even if I don't have it, I don't own it, I can take the money and finish the contract with you, and I'll bring it to you after 2-3 days. They call it salam. You know, the original of the salam is at the time of the Prophet ﷺ in Medina, the people in Medina used to be farmers. So, you know, the farmer, sometimes he doesn't have enough capital to start his, to work and to prepare the crops and everything. So what does he need to do? He needs to get some, what? No, loan, money. He needs money. So, before they have riba. So you give them money and 100,000, give it back 110, for example. So Islam gave them another option, better option, which is permissible. Instead of taking 100,000 as a loan and give it back 110, no. I will buy your crops, let's say potato. For example, you produce good potato. I will buy it according to the description you give me. But I will take it after 6 months. I'll pay you now and I get the crops after 6 months. So when I pay you, you don't need to have it from your farm. It's not my problem from where you get it. As long as you get the description, I've already asked you to prepare for me. After 6 months, you have to come with this potato. If you cannot make it for any reason, then you have to give me my money back. And not only this, Islamic banks, you know what they do? And I'll finish with this. You know what they do to be in safe side? Let's say, for example, forget about Islamic banks. Let's say I am a businessman. Okay? If I want to help you with this, I want to make business, forget about helping now. You can get me 10 tons of potato after 6 months. I'll pay you £100,000, okay? And I know the potatoes after 6 months will cost about, it will be more expensive than now. Okay? Because, for example, let's say there will be a demand or any reason. So I'll pay you this. Actually, I have a contract with other factories, chips or crispes factories, who wants potato, okay? And I can provide good type of potato, the same description you gave me, and I can go and sell it for 110,000. Do you understand it? So I'm paying you 100,000 and I'm making 110,000 at the same time. Is this permissible? Allah, if you answer it, I will not give the talk tomorrow. You are shuyukh then. There is no need for talk tomorrow. I think you didn't even understand the question. What's your name? Omar. Omar is a farmer, okay? He wants money. I'm a businessman. I bought 10 tons of potato from Omar for 100,000 pounds. But Omar will deliver it after 6 months. Let's say in July. I finished the contract with him. I went, what's your name, brother? To Adil. Adil, he has a factory and he's producing crisps or chips, whatever. Something to do with potato. And he's my customer. I will take just this, not the same contract, but I will just take the description in that contract, write another contract with Adil. Adil has nothing to do with Umar, okay? He's dealing with me, and this guy is dealing with me. But there is no connection between the two contracts. So I tell Adil, I will have that specific potato 10 tons after 7 months. He's giving me after 6 months, okay? After 7 months, for 110,000. And it's cheap for him anyway, because usually you will sell it cheap because I'm paying you in advance. It's usually like this. When you pay in advance, you get cheaper price. And he will get it for 110,000. I signed a contract with Umar and I go sign a contract with Adil. What happened? I paid 100 and he get 110 at the same time, and I'm relaxing, waiting 6 months. He will come, give me 10 ton of potato. After a month, I give the 10 ton to Adil, and I'm happy and get 10,000 pounds as a profit. Is this permissible? Who said no?
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Sheikh say why not? Huh? بيع ما لا يملك. Okay, he said بيع ما لا يملك. Hold on a second. We'll come to you. Second opinion. Just let's talk about those. Okay, بيع ما لا يملك. He's selling something he doesn't possess. What else? There is no qabd. There is no possession. It's okay? بيعتان في بيعة. Okay? 2 contracts in 1 contract. MashaAllah, good. You're scared now, huh? Huh? Sorry?
You may not get it.
Say again?
You may not get the
You may not get it. So there'll be ambiguity, jahala, gharar, okay? What else? What do you mean بضمان?
If you fail to give him the bida'ah,
Yeah.
when in 7 months, we don't have
Guarantee. But we said you give me back my money and that's it. It didn't work. But usually people will be careful about this. They will deal with specific people. So the market will be controlled anyway. But that's fine. So you say halal. Can you answer these shubuhat from these people?
Because I would see both of them as doing the same thing. So the first person, he's selling something which he doesn't actually own now, which is the potatoes, but he's giving it that I will give it to you in 6 months.
Okay.
And the second person doing the exact same thing, he doesn't have the potatoes now, but he's
Yeah.
doing the exact same thing.
Okay. You just surround it. You just very close.
He doesn't have to own it.
Why?
It's a description.
Exactly, because it's موصوف في الذمة. And I told you, when it's موصوف في الذمة, you don't need position. You are creating it. You are bringing it later on. This is number one. Secondly, there is no connection between Umar and Adil. Adil and Umar. It's two different contracts. So there's not بيعة في بيعة. I'm doing a contract here completely separated from this contract. Which means if Umar cannot provide the potato, I'm still liable to provide the potato to Adil or Adila from another place. You understand me? Adil did not buy the potato because I am buying it for Umar. No, I am providing 10 tons of potato with that description to Adil. Whether I get it from Umar or not, this is another contract. So you see how it's easy to do this. And this is what Islamic banks do. When they deal with salam, they call salam and salam muwazi. To use both type of contracts to protect the money of the people. Because Islamic bank get money from here and give it to investors here. They want to make sure that those are saved and those are saved, both. So what we do, when we get the money from this side, we are saved. We made a profit. And alhamdulillah, we are selling something described, mansuf al-dhimma. And I'm happy, I'm making money, I'm relaxing. After 6 months, usually, if I'm a clever businessman, I will not deal with anyone. I will deal with, trustworthy people, clever, etc. And will check, do my due diligence, etc. And the same, I usually have long contracts with my customers, so they trust me. So when it comes to practicality, it's different. But I'm talking about just the theoretical understanding of this type of contracts. And shows you the ownership, the position is different.
Sheikh, you have it, Adil doesn't have a choice, he can cancel your contract.
It depends on conditions. It depends. This is completely separate.
Of the Islamic banks, like in Dubai, because if you want to get a car through them, because the contract is compulsory, you can't cancel it.
Yeah, it's permissible. This is shurut ja'liya. Actually, first of all, the contract is contract. Even Islamically, it is. And when you say contract, that it's combined. You have to comply with this contract. If I give you the chance to cancel, this is another condition we added to the contract. But originally, contract is contract. You have to fulfill the contract.
أظن الفرق الذي كان يسأله عنه الإمام is when they sell you a specific product. هذا الشيخ سيبيع له ما يوصف في الذمة.
No, both, even both. Whether it's a specific contract or مصروف في الذمة, both contracts are combined.
لا قصدي when is specific product هم لا يملكون البضاعة.
Yeah. Yeah, but they don't do this. Islamic banks, good Islamic banks, not bad ones.
They describe them.
They'll tell you, you want the house, okay, we'll go buy it for you.
Oh, this is murabaha. This is another issue. I'm talking about salam now. Don't mix the contracts. Talk about salam. Salam is mawsuf fi dhimma. It is something. There is something called, and I finish with this, inshallah, tomorrow I finish the rest. Salam, usually there is a gap between the time of this contract and this contract, okay? But in some shops, I don't know if you have this back home or not. If you have many shops, they're selling the same products, for example, mobile shops next to each other, or electronics. Sometimes you come to me and say, do you have that, for example, 32-inch screen, LG, blah, you give me a description. I said, yes. You said to me, how much? I said, tell you, for example, £100. He said, okay, I want this. I don't have it. My neighbor has it. So I go and grab one from him and I sell it to you. When I said, yes, we finished the contract, we already finished the buying and selling, and I haven't owned it yet. I haven't possessed this. They call it salam hal. I'm doing salam, the salam contract. I'm selling you a described item, but I'm doing it at the same time, because when I describe it, usually I should leave time. This is one of the conditions of the salam. Should leave time. But in this situation, it's immediate salam. So I finish the contract and go and grab it. Shafi'iyya says permissible, the rest says not permissible. And inshallah it's permissible. Shafi'iyya said it's permissible, even this type of contract permissible. Yes, Akhi. Salam.
So on that previous example, you make the 10,000 profit even before the actual transaction happens.
No, it's finished. The transactions happen, both. You said before delivering the goods.
Yeah.
Differentiate, you have to differentiate between the transactional contract and delivering the goods. Delivering the goods could take ages, no problem. Now, for example, if you want to buy a car from me, okay, I will give you the description. It's a Mercedes black, I give you everything. And tell you £10,000. £10,000. You pay me now, I'll bring it to you after 10 days. Is this permissible? It should be. So the same with it. Yes, sir.
One more thing about deposits. If you want to buy something and there's a condition that you have to pay certain, for example, £100 as 1,000.
Yeah.
And then you change your mind or you don't get, or you change your mind and then you don't buy it. So you lose that deposit. Is that true?
Yeah. This is شروط جعلية. This is what we said about شروطه في البيع. These conditions are chosen by the contractors, one of them, the buyer or seller. And if they agree, it's permissible. Let's say, for example, I tell you, you pay £100, you either come tomorrow or you lose it. And you agree, it's permissible. They call it بيع العربون. بيع العربون. عربون is the deposit you pay.
That's a question. It's about, let's say you have a shop and you sell certain products, commodities. And I'm the middleman, and then Liban has another shop, and I know he needs the certain things that you sell. So I came to you, then we agree on a certain amount of money, let's say £100. And then you agree to me, so you can sell £100 for this on behalf of me.
What is that?
Whatever it is.
Is it specified commodity or described?
No, it's in the shop.
Okay.
You have
Okay.
it.
Okay.
And I go to Liban and I said to him, I have the product that you need, and it is £120.
Okay.
So I put
You put some profit for yourself.
But I did not tell you, son. I came back to you, then I say to you, okay, I'm gonna sell that product, and then I give you back £100. I didn't tell you the £20.
Yeah.
I put that in my pocket.
That's
Is that
fine.
halal?
Liban, have you specified the item for Liban or you describe it? Wait. Have you told him you are bringing the phone that Abu Yahya's shop, or you describe?
I took the product from you and I gave it to you.
Oh, okay.
So I sent
Okay.
it.
In this situation, you are not allowed to do this. You know why? Because you are my agent. Now, the contract between you and me is agency. And between you and him, you are selling on my behalf my product.
Yeah.
So you are my agent.
Yeah.
If you are an agent, you can't take anything without my permission.
So he has to say at 100.
No, he has to tell me. You want to make a profit. I take permission from me to make a profit. He's my agent. He can tell me I want to make £20 or I want to rent, profit, whatever. But if he acts like an agent, because now he's selling my own product.
Yes, absolutely.
That's why I told you, if you describe the product, you don't need to do this. You just go Liban, you know what I have. You say, Abu Yahya, don't mention Abu Yahya. Say, Liban, I can provide you with a laptop, HP, with the specifications for £800. And you're talking about the one I have here. But he has nothing to do with me. He agrees, he'll pay you £800, and you know it's only $750. So you come, you pay me, you get the laptop, and you go. Do you know why it's not permissible at the first time and it's permissible here? First time, he's my agent, and the agent, a wakil, is trusted person. I trusted him, and I gave him to sell my product. Because I trusted him, you can't take anything without my permission. You understand this? And the second time, he is a trader. He's selling you a product regardless of the place that he is going to bring it from. So which means that if I say, no, I'm not going to sell it to you, he will go and find another shop to buy the product and bring it to you. So there will not be dispute. You understand me? But if he comes to you and sells what I have in my shop, he's selling what he does not own, what does not possess, which is not permissible. Why is it not permissible? Because he could come to me, I've already sold it. So there will be a problem between you and him now. Because he promised you to bring this, he didn't bring it. You don't want a laptop from other shop, you want this one because you know the one have very high quality. You understand me? So that's why always focus on description. Try to sell described items. It gives you more flexibility to move. Even in terms of agency, Even charities. Some charities do not understand the rules of charity. You know the charity organization. What are they? They are agents. They are agents. If you are a charity and you tell me that you're taking money to help poor people in Somalia or Libya or Iraq or Pakistan or Syria, whatever, you are my agent. So when I give you the money, you have to take it. If you want to deduct something, you have to let me know that you are deducting something. You understand me? Otherwise, you're not allowed. Because you are my agent. I trusted you.
To take this money to the poor people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when, like, them taking salary, etc. Sometimes
Yeah, but usually they expose this. But I'm saying we have to know that what you take. You understand me?
Donors have to know.
Exactly. The one who gave you, the one who trusted you, the one who made you an agent to take his money or whatever, he has to know what you have taken from this.
Sometimes they say it's 100% charity.
It's up to them if they say this. If they maybe they have some charities, organizations, they have awqaf, they get paid from other places. So it's up to them. I mean, I'm just telling you what is the ruling. It's an agency contract. When you understand the nature of the contracts, you will know how to deal with Islamic financial. Agency is different from Salam. Salam is different from Muraba'a. Muraba'a is different from Musawama. So all these contracts, when you understand the nature of these contracts, you can choose easily. One of the brothers now is setting up, mashallah, may Allah give him barakah. He attended the lecture and since the lecture, he's planning to start the Islamic financial company selling cars. I'm helping him, mashallah. It's good. He can make good money and halal money and make it easy for the Muslims. He will get cars to sell the cars in installment with halal installment. No riba involved. We need people to do this. Some brothers in London did it. They sell houses in installment. They are fully booked. They have waiting list. You can't even buy because of the demand. So if rich people understand just the financial transactions, easy. You can set up something and you make good money, halal money, and you help Muslims to make halal contracts. You don't just make installment contracts without riba. And there are many ways of protecting yourself. You can take guarantee, why not? You can take rahan. You can, for example, let's say, if I'm selling you something, I can take your car as a rahan. If you don't pay me, I sell your car, and I take Islamically it's permissible. Why not? Because not everybody is good. Some people are dodgy. They might miss about. So we have to protect you and protect the seller. آخر سؤال. That's the last question. Because inshallah we leave the part 2 tomorrow about ambiguity, gharar, about riba, and about dhulm, the 3 types of haram transactions. And we'll focus about these points more and more. Yes, Akhi.
On the point about the car, say a brother started a car business where he sells to people on installments. He asks, he comes and asks you, what kind of car do you want? You say, I want a
Toyota.
Volkswagen 16 plate, silver, that much mileage. You say, okay. You sign the contract, you get me the car.
Okay.
After you get me the car, I test the car, I notice there's something wrong with the car. You've already spent money on the car. I don't want to buy it anymore. Because obviously it's a car, like you can't guarantee that there's no problem with the car because you still haven't.
It's not brand new, you mean?
It's not brand new.
Yeah, so it depends on the contract. The conditions are in the contract. So what is included in the contract, it should be fulfilled.
Can he include in the contract, say, when I get you, regardless of the condition of the car is better?
He can do this if he is a trustworthy person and he does not know there is a defect in the car. Now, if let's say I want to sell you a car, it's in front of you now. I can say to you, okay, you take it, you try it. I can't take responsibility of any defects, unseen defects, hidden defects. I can do this if I don't know anything. But if I knew there is a problem and I didn't tell you, I can't then take the responsibility out of me.
What if you sold me a description and when you got the car, I noticed there's a problem?
No, then it's my mistake. I have to take it back. Because what the description is not...
Before the qabd, as long as
Even if after the qabd, even if you take it and you find the problem with it, the description did not say that the car has defect. No, this car is okay, good car, no problem with it. So always these type of contracts will include every single issue to protect you and the seller as well. So you have to be more specific and more. And some issues are not included. What we do, we said, we go back to the issue I talked about at the beginning, to the urf. We go to the traders in this market and we ask them, is this defect or not? Because, for example, we might disagree about something. You claim this is defect. I say, no, this is not defect. See, it's acceptable, no problem. We have a dispute now, and the contract does not cover this. We go to the market, traders in the market say, do you consider this as a defect? If they say yes, you bring it back. If they say no, you take it.